Okay, this video is operant conditioning part 2, and this is continuing on talking about reinforcers. So, first thing is that in the last video I finished talking about positive, negative reinforcers. We also need to talk about primary reinforcers. Primary reinforcers are when something is naturally reinforcing, such as satisfying a biological need. For example, food would be considered a primary reinforcer. Sleep would be a primary reinforcer. Something like a drink would be primary reinforcer. Those things that you didn't have to learn to those things that you didn't have to learn to be a reinforcer. So those are considered primary reinforcers. Conditioned or secondary reinforcers, however, are the ones that you have to learn the association with a primary reinforcer. For example, something you get in order to satisfy a biological need. So, for example, money can be a conditioned reinforcer. At some point in time, when you're a little kid, for example, you learn that money was important because money got you the things that you want. Okay, like for example, food. Okay, so those are going to be conditioned or secondary reinforcers. All right, aside from reinforcers, you can also talk about punishment. Punishment is going to be something that is going to decrease behavior. So these are things that are going to be following behavior that decreases the likelihood of that behavior happening again. So just like reinforcement, you can talk about positive and negative punishment. Now, here's the confusing part to people. It doesn't mean positive is good and negative is bad, okay? Positive is giving something, you get something, and negative is you take something away. So, with positive punishment, okay, positive punishment is when you administer an adversive stimulus. So you're giving something that people don't like, okay? So for example, this little cartoon here, it says the mom's putting away these Dove chocolate ice cream bars, and it says, "I told you these are for later." And the kid says, "But I want a bleeping Dove bar now." And the next screen it shows that the kid is getting his mouth washed out with soap, ironically by a Dove soap bar. But the point is that the adverse stimulus is obviously the mouth washed out with soap. Spanking also follows under positive punishment. Okay, you're getting something that you don't like. All right. Negative punishment, on the other hand, is when you take away a desirable stimulus. You're taking away something that you do like. Okay. This would be, for example, when a kid goes to a birthday party and the kid's running around screaming and hitting people, and what does the parent do? The parent pulls the kid aside and says, you can't do that. You're going to have a timeout. You're going to sit here for 10 minutes and you're going to watch everybody else having fun, and you're going to sit here. Okay? That's a negative punishment because you're taking away the birthday party. You're taking away the fun. Same thing when you do something wrong. What's the first thing that your parents do as punishment? They probably ground you, right? They're taking you away from your fun with your friends. Or they take away your car keys, so then you can't drive your car, okay? Taking away a desirable stimulus, okay? That's negative punishment. So that timeout is a negative punishment. So if that's the case, so from the last video with operant conditioning, the first video 1 with operant conditioning, and this one, can you complete this matrix? So take a bit of time to draw this in your notebook if you already don't have it, and take a look at if the stimulus type is something desired and it is applied and you get that desired item. Is it reinforcement or punishment, positive or negative? If it gets taken away, is that reinforcement or punishment, positive or negative? What about if it's something that you don't like? Okay, if you get it, is that reinforcement or punishment, positive or negative? If it gets taken away, is that reinforcement or punishment, positive or negative? Think about something desired for a kid. Think about this as a little kid. Think about it as something desired as a cookie. And for the not desired, think of it as something that maybe they don't like. Maybe they don't like lima beans, okay? So take a minute, pause the video, try, figure it out, and then play. Okay, so did you give it a shot? So if something is desired and it gets applied, so you get the cookie, okay, then it's going to be positive reinforcement. But if you get something that you don't desired, because of your behavior, you're getting extra lima beans, right? That's viewed as positive punishment. Notice that both of them, you're supplying a stimulus, okay? In one case, you get something that you like. In one case, you get something you don't like. So that makes a difference between if it's reinforcement or punishment. What about if you remove a stimulus? Because of your behavior, you don't get your cookie. Well, that's going to be negative punishment. Now, because of your behavior, you don't have to eat your lima beans, okay? So something that's not desired gets taken away, that's going to be negative reinforcement. Hopefully this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. That ends this video.